And at least for me, I've had a couple thoughts recently about, what are they going to be? What is Reese going to be when he grows up? And I've found myself having to be very careful of not trying to build what I think his future is in my head and get too attached to that, and really just be open to what God has for him. So that doesn't mean you don't plan. It just means that you realize that, even though I think Reese might make a good engineer or something like that, that if that's not what God has for him, if that's not God's calling for him, that you better be ready to let go of that. And so you just we're not far enough along, I guess, to really say how easy or willing we are to take that step of faith that God's going to take care of him, whatever that is, whether he sends him somewhere across the world or he goes to be a administrator at some church or whatever. But it's just making sure that I don't get they're not my kids, they're God's kids, and that baby dedication was giving them up to God, but so is the parent dedication, and just that, hey, we're raising them to know, love, and serve Jesus, and they're not ours. He's blessed us with them, and they've been amazing. I don't know what we'd do without them, but it is a temporary thing, and eventually they are going to be in the world, and they are going to be their own person, and hopefully they learn that God is with them and that God's going to support them.
We taught them to trust, pray, seek wise counsel, and all of that. And so when it came time for them to be able to say, this is my choice and my decision, then we had to be willing to say, you know what, we've taught you to go through those processes. And even though, so for example, Megan getting married, we probably initially would say, wait a couple of years, go to college first. But Megan says, this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is who I'm supposed to marry. And so we have to be willing to say, you know what, we taught you to come to that conclusion. We brought you to the point to get there. We have to allow that to happen. Meaning at the rite of passage, we couldn't come back in and say, well, now hang on, you didn't make the decision we would have made. You made the decision, but you gave it to me based on what you said that you feel God has led you to do and why you're doing it. Now, they wouldn't get freedom from the rite of, they would have to explain. To Kim's point, there was a lot of discussions. There was a lot of discussions when Seth went to Bible college in Springfield, and then there was a lot of discussions when he decided he was going to go to OBU. And then with Megan and Jacob, there was a lot of discussions in relation to, did you truly seek out not that you wouldn't get married or may not ever get married, but did you truly seek out that right now is when you're supposed to get married? And so what we had to do is go through that process and then just come to the conclusion that said, you know what? We've taught them to make those decisions, and we're not God. So we have to allow them to make those decisions and not force our beliefs or our mental models or our preferences onto them at that right